People use their phones every day for texting, calling, listening to music, and social media. However, what exactly makes up the device that billions of people all around the world rely on? Phones are made of many different elements from the periodic table, and an important one is tantalum. How does tantalum form and find its way into our phones? Well, to answer this question, we have to think all the way back to the Big Bang, when stars were created. The elements hydrogen and helium came together to create stars, and all that pressure and heat made bigger and bigger elements, all the way up to iron. Finally, the pressure built too much, and the star exploded. This explosion is called a supernova. When bigger stars, called massive stars, explode, the leftovers at the very centers of those stars are called neutron stars. Tantalum is created in both supernova and when two neutron stars smash together and combine. During both of these events, a bunch of neutrons are thrown out into space. Those neutrons hit the atoms surrounding them very, very fast, or rapidly, and those atoms absorb the neutrons to form bigger and bigger elements. That's why we call this the R process, R for rapid. It's what creates the element tantalum. Now let's look at how tantalum found its way inside Earth's crust. Leftover gas and dust from supernova all came together to form a thick, swirling cloud called a solar nebula. Gravity made the parts of the solar nebula come together and combine into a flat disk. The matter in the center of the disk combined to create our sun, and the matter in the middle and edge of the disk combined to create the planets, including our Earth. The bits and pieces that combined to create Earth was rocky. Earth used to be one equal mixture of these rocky elements, but eventually the heavier metals sunk to the middle and created Earth's core. The lighter elements moved to the outward parts of the planet and created a big melty layer called the mantle. This process is called planetary differentiation. Then some of the less dense elements in the mantle combined and floated up to the very top to create Earth's crust. Tantalum was one of these elements. Tantalum is mostly mined from two different rocks, tantalite and coltan. This one is tantalite with a reddish tint, and this one is coltan with a much, much darker black tint. We can find these rocks in Africa, mostly in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The biggest deposit that we use to mine for tantalum is called the Monono pegmatite in the Kibara Belt region. Tantalum is mined using placer mining, which is a way to get minerals out of sediment and in mud in rivers. Miners pan for water with flat dishes and pans with thin mesh bottoms. They trap the larger coltan ores while the water and other mud washes away. It's a lot like panning for gold. Once the tantalum is mined, it needs to be separated from other elements, especially niobium. To do that, the ore is first dunked in hydrofluoric and sulfuric acid, which dissolves the tantalum and niobium into a liquid mixture. Then, we add a special solution called MIBK, which separates the tantalum from the niobium in the liquid. Then, we just take the MIBK with tantalum in it out of the liquid, flush it with water, and precipitate it, which means we add a chemical, for the end result of getting tantalum as a powder or a solid from the liquid. This process takes a lot of work, which means a lot of people need to do this work. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, this work is being done by children in very unsafe working conditions. Mining tantalum is a human rights issue, and it harms billions of people. But millions of dollars are poured into tantalum because it is very, very valuable in electronics. Tantalum is the main metal used to make capacitors. What are capacitors? Well, let's take a look inside your phone. Capacitors make sure that electrical voltage isn't too strong or too weak, and it separates different electrical signals, represented here in red and blue. This makes it a super important part of all smartphones, laptops, and other electronic devices. Just a little bit of tantalum can hold a lot of electrical energy, and it hardly ever corrodes. Your phone wouldn't be the same without tantalum, and now you know all about the crazy and dangerous journey it takes to find your way inside the device in your hand.